Hello, my name is Starla Henderson with Fronter House Quilts, and today we're going to be working on appliquing our poinsettias together. We're on our winter samplers still. Last week we glue basted these together, got them all in place so that you don't have to fight with them. You can just sit down and do the sewing, and it's the same stitch that we've been using all along. And you are going to sew every one of these little seams, applique them, all these petals to each other. And then your center will come in, you'll applique your center down later. Then you will have a whole flower that you can put on your background. So that's what we're going to do today, is applique our flower together. My name is Starla Henderson with Fronter House Quilts. Thank you for joining me.
Okay, now it's time, as I said, to applique all of these pieces together. You've got them glued in place and they look pretty good, but they're not sewn together, so you get them wet, they're going to fall apart on you right now. And I like to start in the center, and I've already buried my knot just like I've done before. You tie it, come up from behind and into this seam allowance that you're going to be sewing into along the edge of your piece, and you're just going to start sewing around that piece. And I'm using Superior thread. It is a poly thread and it is 60 weight. And I like it because it, for one, going against another edge, it doesn't wear out. And two, it's so fine that you really can't see it. You match the color as close as you can and you don't even know it's there. And you go in, here's where I came out. You're going to go back in right underneath that and take a tiny little stitch. Come back up into the side, the crease that's the edge of your piece, and you're going to go all the way around every piece here that's going to be sewn together. And you're sewing this together separately, and you're doing this by hand. I like the way hand applique looks. I like doing it too. This is something I can take with me anywhere I go, and if I have a few minutes I can just take it out and work on it. But if you use the applique papers, you can do this by machine. Just use a small zigzag stitch, match your thread. You can even use the same thread, or an invisible poly thread of some kind, and that's just not my area, but I like to do it this way. You're just going to keep working your way around. But with this template freezer paper, the way I do it, you don't want to try and sew that on your machine. You're going to be very unhappy because it's not going to like it. The paper's too thick because I've got more than one layer. Okay, and that's all there is to this. You just need to make sure you have all of these pieces sewn together with this applique stitch. Once that's done, you're ready to put this piece aside until it's time to applique it to its background. Okie dokie. It does hang up on me sometimes. There we go. Now, I'm going to do all of my center pieces, and all the way around. I start in the center and work my way out. That's the way I do when I quilt. That's the way I do when I do this too. And then when it's done, you're ready to go to the next piece. There are two of these small poinsettias and one large one in the quilt that I made. And then I'm also we're going to have a lesson on making the circles, as well as bias tape, which we've done before, a bias strip, because those are going to be added to this quilt as well. These pieces are big. This does not take a lot of time doing this particular pattern. It is a much quicker quilt to make because the pieces are big and they're very simple shapes. So relax, have some fun with it, and just learn this technique. It's a lot of fun. My name is Starla Henderson with Fronter House Quilts, and I will see you next time. I believe we're going to make bias tape stems. Either that or circles, I can't remember, but we're going to go on to the next step. Thank you for joining me.